And that's not enough. Or you want something beside that? Do you? But we never think about that. That's why one day I'm looking at with Taiwa. Me and Taiwa looking at these cartoons. And one of the cartoons, the Muppet. Yeah, 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 yeah. I am alive. I am alive. A-L-I-V-E. I am alive. A donkey is alive. A chicken is alive. And so am I. I am alive. Yeah, 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 yeah. And I kept hearing that. I am alive.
That's the hit.
You know what that means, man? That's everything. But in today's world, I'm alive isn't sufficient. I need diamonds on my body.
Right. I need monuments.
I need a Rolex watch, man. I need my Rolex watch, you know?
I need a Bentley and something.
I need, and I need, and I need. Pablo, are you hip to El Topo?
El Topo?
Well, again, you see? That comes out of your culture. El Topo is one of the baddest pieces you're going to ever see. Where this man, wife died, his son was very much attached to his mommy. And boy, his daddy saw that and saw that this dependency is unreal. He told his son to gather all the things that he liked best. And in the thing that he liked best was his mother's picture. He said, put it in that bag. And he took him in the desert and said, you dig a hole. And you put that stuff in there and bury it. And as the boy jumped on the back of the horse going back, well, they told me the story. I didn't see it. But it's in El Topo. But I know this kind of energy comes out of Mexico. It's some deep shit. They put some deep shit on your ass. Look, number one, here's one for you. The woman that killed the naked man in the Mosil. The politician did was to take his clothes off. Said, take your clothes off. And they got him naked. And the man sit right down. And they could not understand why. But the oxygen was engulfing his body now, and his brain, his central nervous system calming down. Oxygen, but we covered up. Because we have to obey the mandate designed by the industrialists, not the mandate of life itself. And whenever you step out of the mandate of life, you get into trouble.
Big time.
Because now you're violating life. And you're going to get away with that? Are you out of your mind? Look, you can violate Socrates and Plato, but you're not going to play with life. The two people or two things that you will not play with is life and that one-eyed bandit, self.
Yes.
I learned about self in Detroit from a sister who's a school teacher. Well, the description she gave of self, I mean, you don't want to mess with self. Mess with anything else but self. And it is so beautiful. So now we find ourselves trying to make a decision in our lives, or make a decision in our lives that will bring about a degree of peace. Because that's all we're looking for, is peace. Just contentment, to be tranquil. Yeah. I could smile, I could listen to the birds. I could enjoy the butterflies. Of course, why not? But for us to really understand the mechanics behind that, we have to begin with life itself. What about life? There's an arrangement. There is an arrangement that is right on time every year. Spring is never late. Summer is never late. Winter nor autumn. They come right on time. And those plants that we see that blooms every year, they come at the same time every year. What happened? Is there a computer in each of those plants that's going to connect them with the time in which they're supposed to bloom? No. That is a cosmic arrangement. Like that plant, like that bird that flies from the north to the south. When winter arrives or when autumn arrives, he doesn't read any calendar. Oh, it is October or November the 27th. We got to start packing. He picks it up in his feathers. And they all get the same message and they are gone south. So now, as we begin to talk about the thing that we talk about, they should always be connected to the foundation of life. Why? Because it is electrical. It's electrical. It's compatible with us. This is about the ABCs of healing. The ABCs of healing. Of course, the beginning, to understand it. You see, it's artificial anyway. Healing is as artificial as wearing a pair of shoes. That's artificial. Because you're not touching the soil no longer with your bottom of your feet to receive the minerals. But I'm now modern. I can't help it. I got to walk not only with shoes but socks on too. Further disconnecting me. So to understand healing is very, very good. And we all should. And we all could. And the purpose of understanding healing, it brings about what? Peace. It brings about love for self. So we begin the journey. Where do we begin with healing? Once upon a time, brothers and sisters and friends, listeners, we didn't have to know anything about anything in reference to making a decision to put something in our mouth. We did not have to read a book. Right. We didn't have a nutritionist. We didn't have any enzymes, protein, and vitamins. Why? Because all the things in our environment were alkali. We didn't have to make a decision whether this is good or bad, or try to make that distinction. Now you better know it. You better know, because right now we are engulfed and surrounded with the use of many, 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 many inorganic substances. Yes, we are. We are surrounded by it, immersed in it, and we want to get out of it. But to get out of it is to know that it is bad. And the only way that you're going to know that these things are not as complementary as we would like for them to be, you have to compare them with life. And that is Mother Nature, Pachamama. Now we begin the journey. In life, life substance has a base. They call it carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. This you find in the science of biochemistry. The foundation of biochemistry is the understanding that carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen is the composition of life. Without these three players, life does not exist in that substance. This is why you could burn a carrot, you could burn beets. It doesn't burn to ashes. The only thing that burns to ashes is those things, or are those things, that a carbon base. They are what? They are considered native by the geologists. So we find carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. If the substance doesn't have these three as players in the core of its structure, you have an acid substance that is against life itself. Now, we are not living 500 years ago when our mothers didn't have to make a decision what she's going to feed her baby, because she only fed her baby her milk. Her milk. And her milk was not impregnated with meat, with starches, because they simply did not exist. They did not eat any starches, which is carbonic acid. So now, to understand nature, you will see, as we begin to excavate, little by little, we find that nature doesn't produce any substance that has starch in it or present. Starch is counter life, against life. Nature did not produce a starch substance. That is a yardstick or a measure that you could use to be able to navigate through the maze, because you have confounded things. You see, once upon a time on this planet, there were no comfrey, there were no whole wheat, there were no bulgur wheat, there were no oatmeal, there weren't any carrots or beets, there weren't any echinacea or aloe vera, there weren't any golden seal, and many, many, many others. Now, why were these things made? I don't know, but I know this, that these things doesn't play any part in the sustenance of life. So in the ABCs of our understanding as to what is and what shouldn't be in our presence or diet is to understand that everything that has electricity has to be starchless. A substance that is starchless is considered to be alkali. A substance that has starch is acid. Energy will not be obtained from nor found in it. So as we continue now with the ABCs of understanding what is healing, we have to understand life structure. Life structure. In understanding life structure, then you'll be able to select. You will be able to select from the forest the things that are life-giving. When I was in Washington a few years ago, I remember seeing a brother of mine that we all love, Jimmy Gray. He always had a licorice stick in his mouth. And most of us that begin to grow in the understanding of what is nutrition, many of us have used licorice stick as a nourishing agent. But in reality, licorice stick has more glycerinic acid than does sugar. It will hurt you. It will hurt you. Why? Simply